It's another thing they didn't tell me about business. Do you know how people make you feel guilty all the time? I refuse to feel guilty about anything. I will not do guilt, okay? I made that decision. It's a great decision from getting you from the emergency room to, the abundance room or something where amazing things can happen. Who wants to stay in the emergency room forever? One way to do it is for people to make you feel guilty and for you to accept that. I just won't do it. Refuse to step on that stepping stone. Unless I've done something wrong, so I try not to do anything wrong. And if I've done something wrong, that's fine. But, has anybody in this room ever had a business that failed? Do you know anybody who has? Have you had a friend or a relative who had a business that failed? Yeah, it's a horrible thing. But when that happens, you're made to feel guilty. Just by people you love. People you love can make you feel more guilty than anybody else, and they don't mean to do it, but it's just that look or that, oh, that's really sad. And you feel guilty, it's like, I've done something wrong. Then you reframe it. Let's cover another NLP base, reframing. So how do we reframe that guilt of my business has failed? You understand that what nobody ever tells you is that there was this book, and I can't remember, I think it was like the 50 most successful business people of all time, famous people everyone's heard of. The 50 most successful of all time. And turns out every single one of them, except for one I think it was, had had a failed business. The one that didn't was Bill Gates, and he was on the verge of being bankrupt. Apparently he was in a day of being bankrupt and got through. So if all these guys that were successful failed on the way, surely that's a bit like confusion, isn't it? It's a stepping stone. So we get something wrong and then we get it right. And by getting it wrong first makes getting it right that much more solid, I would say. I would suggest that is a learning strategy that anybody can adopt, and it's called reframing.